Hi, I am with Poppy Quilt and Sew. My name is Samantha, for those of you that don't know me. I am Michelle's daughter, Michelle Bailey, the owner of Poppy's. And I am here to do a little tutorial on making pet toys out of t-shirts so that we can have you guys, we're going to provide you some t-shirts. You guys can go make toys, bring them back to our store, and we're going to go donate them to the local animal shelter. We are going to be donating them to Williamson County Animal Shelter. So I just want to show you a few things. There is a ton of tutorials online on a ton of different pet toys that you can make out of t-shirts and scraps and yarn and all sorts of stuff. But I'm just going to show you 3 different things that I made that you can follow and you can make and then bring into Poppy's. So let's get started with number 1. First one that we're going to make is a braided rope toy. And so these are t-shirts. This is the bottom of a shirt. This would go around from your left waist to your right waist. And I found that this is the best part to get long strips to do the braids. So all I did was I laid it out, and you can cut either with scissors across here, or you can take your rotary cutter and cut across to create an opening. And then you can leave that like that, and you can cut strips from this. And this doesn't have to be perfect. T-shirts, they're very forgiving when you sew them together. They're very forgiving for dog toys that are going to be donated. So it doesn't have to be perfect strips, but you need about 9 strips, and I made my strips about an inch wide. So I just went along and I cut. And I cut and I cut and I kept going. I didn't mess with the seam down here at the bottom of the shirt, but I just kept cutting them, and I cut a bunch of strips because then it gives me more strips to work with to make more toys. And I did that with a few different colored shirts. And after you cut those strips, I just want to show you that they're very stretchy. And so I actually went through and I stretched the whole strip out to make it nice and long, to make it roll over on itself like that so that it's easier to braid it. And so once you have 9 strips, and they can be different colors. I mean, you could use 9 different colors, you could use 3 different colors, whatever you want. And I lined them up on the ends. And then you can either tie them together down here with another strip of t-shirt, like this, and just knot it all together. Or you can tie a big knot. It gets very bulky when you start to do the big knots like that. So that is up to you on how you want to do it. I'm just doing a knot because it's easier for now. And then you want to take 3 colors, and we're going to braid those together. 3 colors, and we're going to braid those together, and then we're going to braid those together. So you can see I have 3, 3, 3. I'm going to do just a simple braid, just like you would do a girl's hair or a boy's hair if it's long enough. But you're just going to braid all of those, and then you're going to take the 3 braids and you're going to braid them with each other. And then you get a nice little rope toy. It doesn't matter how big you make it. I just matched up some shirts that were close to the same size so that my strips were close to the same size. And I think like one of these, like this long pink strip, made 2 ropes for me. So you can cut it in half and you can make 2 of the toys. But they can be however long, however short you want them. And then again, you can tie them on the end down here. I went through on the end as well, and I cut some of these a little bit smaller just to make it a little bit more fun and fray. But you don't want to cut them too thin because then they'll become detached from the toy, and then the animal can possibly eat it, which wouldn't be good either. So that is for the rope, the braided rope toy. This one was probably my favorite one because you see all of the fun colors. and you're just braiding. You're just sitting there braiding t-shirts. All right, let's see number 2. For the second toy, it's kind of like the braided rope one that we just did, but it has more of like knots that we do. And this one's a little bit small, but it stretches out. My dog really enjoyed chewing on this one, so this is a good chewing one. But we're gonna do the same thing, or similar to what we did for the first one. You have your t-shirt that you're cutting strips from, and you still have your opening where you cut a slit down on the other side. And I cut these strips at about 2 inches. You want them to be a little bit thicker, and you don't want to pull them to stretch them out because you don't really want them to like start rolling on itself. And then you want 2 of one color and 2 of another color. You could do 4 colors, but it's a lot easier to pay attention and keep up with what you're doing if you have just 2 different colors. So again, you can use a piece of t-shirt to create your first end, or you can just tie a big knot together. And then I'm going to show you kind of how this works. So you can kind of see your oranges are going in opposite directions, and the pinks are in opposite directions. And you kind of like intertwine them into creating a knot. And I'm sure there's a technical term for this, and I don't actually know what it is, but I do remember making these when I was younger out of like plastic kind of string stuff, and we would make keychains and stuff. So let's focus on the orange. The orange is going to go across and across, and then your pink, the closest orange to it, you want to go over that one, and then you want to go under the further orange. So you're just going over, under. And once you do a few rows, you start to get the hang of it and you find easier ways to keep track of it. But you go, so here's the closest orange, so I'm going over it and then under the further orange. And then you can see it kind of creates that square, and then you want to pull them all tight. I didn't do it too tight, and you can tell on my first one that I did it tighter on this end and a little bit looser on this end. And so just depending on how you want it to look and be, it works either way. And so you just keep going. So you take the orange across and across. And then your pink, you're going over the first one and under the second one. So over the first orange, under the second orange, and then you're going to take the other pink and you're going to go over and under. So over, under, and then you pull it tight again. And then you do it again. Oh, oranges across, and then pink over, and then under. You kind of start to get the hang of it. So what I was kind of trying to do, let's start that round over. What I kind of figured out is easy to do is if you go across with your orange and you go over, then you pull your other orange across, then you're already under. And then you just have to work with this second pink one. So it kind of makes it a little quicker. So that, and then we pull it tight again. And then you just keep going until it's as long of a toy as you want. And you can even, like if you wanted, you could get so far and then cut this piece off and then start a new one with the rest of your strips. This one might make a pretty long one, but you'd be surprised how long of a strip it makes a shorter toy because you're doing so much interlooping and knotting. So this is the second toy. The third toy, this is probably the easiest one. And this is what I would say is for the cats, the kitties, because it's just a lot of fun little things and they like to just play with random things. This one probably is not as good for a dog because of all these little pieces. Dogs will chew those off and then eat them. Although I will say my dog did enjoy this one too, so she might be part cat. I'm not really sure. But this is a good scrap one, or this is a good one for the last step because you can use a lot of your scrap pieces for it. You can see how long this piece is compared to that full width of the t-shirt that we were cutting on. And so, you know, maybe you do the first toy or the second toy and you just have like a little bit left that you cut off because the toy's long enough and it's good to go. Keep those pieces and you can make the cat toys out of that. Or as you're cutting your strips from your shirt, maybe you come down and you find that you have like an awkward length of or width of a piece. You can use the seam line for this toy, whatever you want. They can be 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, whatever size. This one had a few of the 1 inches and a few of the 2 inches. And so I'm going to show you, this is, this orange piece is the width of, like I had been cutting my strips, so it's that same width. And it's a little bit long for the cat toy, I think. So I'm actually going to cut it in half, or I already did cut it in half. And then I could cut it in half again, or not. It's totally up to you and how you want to make your toy. And let's see, I have some leftover blue, so I'm just going to kind of make these all the same size. I'm just going to get, not too many, but I'm going to get a good number of them. Get some different colors in there. Throw some pink back in. You can see there's words from the t-shirt. Can you all see that? So it doesn't matter what you're including from the t-shirt. And then you can just take all of these pieces. And I probably should have gone a little bit longer on them so that it was easier to do my knot. But luckily I have tiny little fingers and I can get them through this and pull this tight. So you just create a knot. And then you have your toy. So I actually went through and I had some pretty big pieces on my first one. They were pretty wide strips. And so I went through and I cut them smaller. Even on this one, if I cut this one in half, now I've created even more fun for the cat. Or dog, I guess. Cat or dog. And so the more little pieces you have on the end, the more there is that kind of, the more there is to play around with. And then you're done. So that was 3 different toys. Again, there's a ton of toys out there on the internet that you can Google and you can look up and you can try making some different ones. But those are the 3 that I came up with and I just wanted to show you guys in case you just didn't know where to start and you wanted something to do. I think that this would be great around the holidays that are coming up. You can have kids, grandkids, cousins, everybody, nieces, nephews, help you out making some toys. If you're local, we do have bags of t-shirts that we're going to give to you, and you can, that way you're using our scrap t-shirts because we do make t-shirt quilts at Poppy Quilt and Sew, so we're part of 2 Cool t-shirt quilts, so we have a ton of scrap t-shirts. So this is kind of the perfect project. We're getting rid of t-shirt scraps to you guys so that you can have fun and do something and then bring it back to us so that we can donate to the local animal shelter. If you do live further away, check into what animal shelters are around you and see if they're willing to accept t-shirt made toys. I know that our shelter, they will accept a lot of things. They did say nothing with toxins in it. There's no toxins in these t-shirts, so we're good. They did approve our t-shirt toys. So we are good. We have t-shirts to give you. We have a collection bin once you make toys. And I hope you guys have fun with these. Let me know if you guys need anything. Be careful because I left these out and my dog started playing with them. And my dog doesn't even like toys and doesn't play with toys, but she was all about these. So hopefully these will be a lot of fun for the shelter animals. And let me know if you guys need any help with any of it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.